The Arrowverse is an adaptation of the DC universe, and because of this, there are certain characters who absolutely need to exist in order for the universe to be complete, or at least the multiverse. One of those characters is Wonder Woman. Now, a new series I'm doing is I'm going over certain characters in the Arrowverse, so far only characters who have either never appeared or have only ever had a cameo, and go over what I think their timeline should look like based on what we already know so far. I did this for Batman and also the rest of the Bat family, and for the Green Lanterns, the human ones, Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart. And now I'm doing it with Wonder Woman, who, until Batwoman's second episode, didn't really seem to exist in the Arrowverse. However, in that episode, in Batwoman Season 1, Episode 2, she was mentioned for the first time and confirmed to exist. Using that reference, as well as all the other references we've gotten so far, I'll piece together a timeline with Wonder Woman. However, unlike Batman and the Green Lanterns, we really don't know much about her timeline, but also unlike Batman and Green Lantern, she's only one character with maybe one or two villains. For Batman, it's a whole multitude of characters, including Batman, the Robins, Batgirl, Lucius Fox, Batwoman, and a couple others, as well as the whole multitude of villains like the Joker, Harley Quinn, and all the rest. The Joker, obviously, recurring time and time again. For Green Lantern, there's 3 human characters, one of which appeared in like 7 seasons of a television show as a main character, so that was a lot of timeline to go over. But for Wonder Woman, she's only one character, and we barely know anything about her timeline, but also the villains, she doesn't really have a very big rogues gallery in the comics or in this universe, as the only characters we know for sure exist are Ares and Cheetah, and the only one that we know exists as a villain in the present day is Cheetah. However, I will put Ares and Cheetah into Wonder Woman's timeline, with it all making sense within everything we know so far. With that in mind, let's begin the timeline, beginning with Diana's birth. Diana really could have been born any time before the 21st century, or I guess let's say before the 1980s, to make her a little bit older than other characters who she should definitely be at least a little bit older than, but considering in certain timelines, continuities, she's like 5,000 years old in the DCEU or over 90 years old in the Young Justice universe, while in the comics we don't really know how old she is. It's very vague when she was born in most of the continuities, and we don't really have anything to go off of. Because of that, I'm going to be using the 1 year that we actually saw Themyscira, and that's 1253 BC, as in the episode Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, Episode 6, Zari dropped Helen of Troy off in Themyscira in that year, 1253 BC, with that random year being used in that episode. Maybe the reason it was used is because that's the year Diana was born, and maybe in this continuity, Diana knew Helen of Troy as she was growing up, and quite possibly that Helen of Troy had some sort of connection to Donna Troy, because they have the same name, even though Helen of Troy's name is not Helen of Troy, she's just from the city of Troy. But I don't know, maybe there can be some sort of connection there, but it's pretty clear from this episode that Zari knows about the Themyscirians because probably of a Wonder Woman, and maybe she went to the actual year that Diana was born, because that would be a year that I guess would make sense. So really, there's no evidence to this, but I think considering this is the only time we ever saw Themyscira, and because this would mean that Diana would be 3,272 years old as of 2019, which is an age that makes sense. It's a very random age, but it's not like it's the craziest or even oldest Diana has ever been in any continuity, because like I said, she's over 5,000 years old in the DC Extended Universe. So as of right now, 2019, Diana is 3,272 years old, as she was born in the year 1253 BC. Between 1253 BC and let's just say the 21st century, Diana grows up on Themyscira and absolutely never leaves it, but is trained to be a warrior and wield things like the Lasso of Truth and a whole array of other weapons and swords and things like that, including her reflective or protective bracelets. Anyway, she spends most of that time training to become a warrior, not really doing much else. That is, I think, until the 21st century, when her turn as an actual superhero begins. Now, one villain that we know exists for sure in the Arrowverse is Ares. Ares was mentioned as a mythical god by Jefferson Jackson, as he called him the god of war, which then Martin Stein corrected him and saying that Mars is the god of war for the Romans, the people that they were currently fighting. However, considering Ares does exist, and considering Wonder Woman and also Themyscira exists, it's very likely and actually almost definite that Ares is an actual person or actual god, and he is an enemy of Wonder Woman. I don't think that, considering Ares isn't known to the public at this point. Wonder Woman either never went up against him at this point, or maybe she did, but it wasn't really known to the public, or maybe to anyone. It's possible that Wonder Woman went up against Ares before she came to America, and this would, I definitely think, work, because this would mean that she has a lot more experience as a hero than all the other heroes who became heroes before the year 2014, because Wonder Woman should definitely be one of the more experienced heroes in the DC universe, equal to like the likes of maybe Batman and Superman, or maybe becoming a hero a little bit after that. Obviously, in terms of fighting, in terms of being alive, she's way more experienced than basically anybody else in the Arrowverse, or basically any other superhero. However, being an actual superhero, I would say like maybe in the year 2000, which works because that would be around the same year Bruce Wayne becomes Batman and Clark Kent becomes Superman, and that Trinity effect in the year 2000, I think that would be very cool. But what if in the year 2000, Ares came to Themyscira, and then between the year 2000 and let's say a 10-year decade of war between Themyscira and Ares, by the end of it, Wonder Woman fully defeats Ares as they created some sort of rivalry between them, and then only a couple years after that does Wonder Woman actually go to America. But I wanted to put Ares in the timeline, have him already be an enemy of Wonder Woman without it actually being known to the public, so that would mean it would have to be before she goes to America. But also I wanted to make it so that Wonder Woman becomes an actual superhero maybe around the same exact time as the other two members of the Trinity, Batman and Superman, which would be the year 2000. So after she and the rest of the Amazonians defeated Ares, Wonder Woman's turn as an actual known hero to the public begins around the early 2010s as Steve Trevor crash lands on Themyscira. Now you may be wondering, if I wanted to make it so that Diana became a hero in the year 2000, and also she's been known to the public anytime before the year 2018, why did I just make it so that she comes to America in the year 2000? She didn't need to fight Ares, or the world didn't need to learn about the Amazonians, but there could have been a Wonder Woman. However, the reason I made it so that she doesn't come to America until the year 2014, which is when Steve Trevor crash lands at Themyscira, has to do with the same reason I made it so that Hal Jordan doesn't return to Earth until the year 2014, or until after that, and that's because of The Flash. But more specifically than The Flash, I mean The Flash as a show, the concept of all these metahuman, superpowered individuals showing up in Central City, the reaction from the world in the first couple seasons, or the first season or two of The Flash, and also what we saw from Arrow around that time, doesn't seem like a universe or a world where they already knew about superpowers. Superpowers seem to be like a new thing in the year 2014. There were other superheroes, or at least vigilantes, like Batman and the Arrow and other characters, but in terms of superpowers, the metahumans were the first, except for the secret ones like in the JSA. However, in this timeline, the reason I made it so that Wonder Woman and Hal Jordan's Green Lantern don't become public heroes until after the year 2014 is because it wouldn't fit the timeline of the world's reaction to metahumans, which is why I made it so that Diana doesn't come to America until 2014, and then you'll see when I make her become a public hero sometime before the year 2018, which means between the year 2014 and 2018, that's when it could have happened. So, as Steve does crash land in Themyscira, the Amazonians throw some sort of tournament to decide who should leave with him to America, which Diana attends in secret, which, that's like a part of her origin story in the, I think it is 2007 Wonder Woman movie, or 2009 or something. It's a great movie, I think probably even better than the live-action movie, in my opinion, but that was a part of that movie. I'm pretty sure it's a part of other continuities as well. So I'll put it here as Diana wins this tournament, she leaves with Steve. Now, she can't actually communicate with Steve, none of the Amazonians can, because he speaks English, obviously, while they speak some sort of Greek dialect. However, that's where another character fits in, and that character is Barbara Ann Minerva. So in the comics, Diana was taught English by Barbara Ann Minerva. She learned pretty quickly because of her powers or abilities, because of how advanced she is, but she learned English pretty quickly, and she actually got rid of her accent fairly quickly as well, which is why in most continuities, most times we see Diana on screen, except for in the DCEU, she has an American accent because she was able to get the accent very quickly. But Barbara Ann Minerva in the comics would later become the arch enemy of Wonder Woman, otherwise known as Cheetah. Now, Cheetah is a villain who we know exists in the Arrowverse, but not only that, we know that before the year 2017, actually before May 2017, around that time, Barbara Ann Minerva, aka the Cheetah, was actually caught by Argus, which Barry Allen actually walked past her cell along with Captain Cold, which is cool because Captain Cold and the Cheetah are definitely villains who team up quite a lot as members of the Legion of Doom. But we know this, and what we have to do here in this timeline is make it so that Diana and Barbara became friends before the year 2017, or actually between the years 2014 and 2017. they became friends. Barbara was infected by some sort of curse that turned her into the Cheetah, and then they became enemies, and sometime before the year 2017, Wonder Woman defeated Cheetah, and she was caught by Argus. Then before the year 2018, Wonder Woman became a public hero, but because of how close those years actually are, why don't we say that she becomes a hero in this fight with Cheetah. So like I said, in the year 2014, Diana comes to America. She meets a woman named Ann Minerva, who uses some mythical Greek languages to teach Diana English, which she learns pretty quickly. Diana, as well as the Amazonians, are kept secret by the United States, as the Amazonians don't seem to be public knowledge at this point. Even in the year 2018, it doesn't seem like they know about the Amazonians, so we're gonna say that the United States government kept them secret, or maybe Argus kept them secret. It's possible that Lila Michaels did know about Diana and the Themyscirians, as well as the Amazonians, or maybe at that time Amanda Waller. However, then there's where Barbara becomes Cheetah. I don't really know what her motivation or her origin story would 100% be here in this continuity, but it could definitely be very similar to the comics. Maybe at this point Diana and Steve begin to date, which is something that we don't know exists. We don't even know that Steve exists in this universe, but considering how connected he is to Diana's origin story, and also he's her main love interest, at least typically, I do think that they should definitely start to date at some point. So let's just say in 2016. Then in the year 2017, Diana manages to defeat Cheetah, and she locks her up in Argus. This is the same year that Wonder Woman becomes a known hero to the public after taking Cheetah down, but still the world doesn't learn about the Amazonians. But by the year 2017, Wonder Woman is a known hero, which is why Kate was able to so casually mention her, as well as her very recognizable costume in the year 2018. With characters like Dick Grayson already being Nightwing at this point, Roy Harper being Arsenal, and Wally West, while he is still Kid Flash, he is an adult, and the name Kid Flash doesn't really make any sense for him and hasn't for a very long time. Wonder Girl should already been an active hero for a while now, also Aqualad, but there's absolutely no evidence of Aqualad existing, and there's barely any evidence of Aquaman existing either. However, for Wonder Girl, I do think she should have been around for a while now. However, considering she's never been mentioned or even referenced or hinted at in the slightest, we can't really say that she became a hero anytime before when Wonder Woman was mentioned in the year 2018. However, I do think in the year 2018, Donna Troy maybe was already trained by the Amazonians for a while, and in the year 2018, while she's already very experienced, actually gets either the name Wonder Girl for the first time or just goes by Donna Troy, as Donna definitely has abandoned the name Wonder Girl in the comics a very long time ago. While in this continuity, she would never really become Wonder Girl. Another character, Cassandra Sandsmark, would a lot later down the line. She would create the name Wonder Girl, but I do think Donna Troy would or should be an adult superhero by the year 2018, and sometime down the line, maybe she, Nightwing, Arsenal, Kid Flash, and maybe even Tempest, who used to be Aqualad, all meet up and form the Titans. However, right now, I would say that, let's just say for the sake of this timeline, Donna Troy becomes Wonder Woman's sidekick, not going by Wonder Girl, just going by Donna Troy in the year 2019. So just for a recap, by the year 2019, Diana is currently active as Wonder Woman, along with her sidekick Donna Troy. Cheetah was defeated by Wonder Woman and is currently locked up at Argus, while Ares could maybe be dead, but gods don't die, so he could be in the graveyard of the gods at this point, and has been there for a couple years now, or maybe he was just 100% defeated by Wonder Woman and not killed. I don't really know which one it would be, but like I said, Wonder Woman's timeline is very vague in the Arrowverse, and I had to add a lot of my own things to make it make sense, but also I did keep in line with what we already knew in the Arrowverse. But in the comments down below, let me know a couple things, namely, what would you change about this timeline, and what do you think about mine, but also which hero team, or even villain do you think I should do next for the timeline series. As always, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.